You've seen it, right? Popping up all over your social media feeds, live shopping. On the surface, it just looks like a bit of fun, some entertainment. But for small businesses, it's actually become this incredibly powerful tool for survival. But what if I told you its real power isn't what it looks like at all? Let's dig in. So this is basically the new digital storefront. It's happening in real time, it's totally interactive, and it's turning e-commerce giants like Shopee and Tokopedia into these buzzing live marketplaces. And for thousands of small businesses, this isn't just some cool new feature, it's an absolute lifeline.
Okay, we can all see it's making waves. It's changing the game. But the real question is why? What is it about live streaming that makes it so incredibly potent? Well, the answer isn't quite as simple as you'd think, and it actually reveals a pretty powerful secret about how marketing works today. To figure this out, our story is going to take us to the beautiful, but fiercely competitive, fashion scene of Denpasar, Bali. Now, this place is a hotbed for creative small businesses, all fighting for the same customers. It's kind of the perfect real-world laboratory to see who makes it and who doesn't. So if you look at the numbers from 2017 all the way to 2020, the story was pretty straightforward. Steady, healthy growth. More and more entrepreneurs were jumping into the fashion game. The trend was clearly going up. Until, well, it wasn't. And then 2021 hits, and boom, over 1,000 of these businesses just vanish. We're not talking about a small dip here. This was a massive shock to the entire system. So in a market this brutal, how did the ones who survived actually manage to stay in business and even grow? Well, before live streaming really took over, the businesses that were already winning were typically leaning on two fundamental pillars. Let's break down what they were doing. First up, you've got this idea of entrepreneurial marketing. So don't just think of it as, running ads. It's more of a mindset. It's about being proactive, seeing opportunities where others don't, taking calculated risks, and really focusing on building a network. And the research is clear. Businesses that think this way just do better. And the second pillar, which became absolutely critical after the pandemic, was going all in on e-commerce. This meant shifting from physical shops to digital ones. Why? Well, it let businesses slash their costs, reach customers way outside their own city, and tap into markets they never could have before. So the thinking was pretty clear. These two strategies were both proven winners. If you got really good at entrepreneurial marketing, you were likely to succeed. If you mastered e-commerce, you were also likely to succeed. Simple enough, right? But this is where our story takes a really interesting turn, because a whole new player entered the game. It was this thing that felt like a blend of a TV show and a shopping trip, and it started to get really, really popular. We're talking about live streaming commerce, and this is so much more than just a slick video or a web page with pictures. It's a live, interactive event. Sellers can show you the product from every angle, answer your questions right there on the spot, and build a real community that drives sales instantly. And the results? They were just staggering. On Shopee, using their live feature boosted sales by an average of 3.5 times. Tokopedia saw growth of over 10%. I mean, it was obvious that live streaming was a serious force all on its own. Okay, so that seems to settle it, right? We've got 3 really solid strategies: entrepreneurial marketing, e-commerce, and now live streaming. You just pick the one that works for you and you're good. But what if that's not the whole story? This is where the research just gets fascinating, because when analysts started to look at how all 3 of these things worked together, they stumbled onto something that nobody was really expecting. So researchers used these really complex models, kind of like this one, to map out all the connections between these different strategies and how well a business was doing. And buried deep inside all that data, they found a hidden link, a secret multiplier effect. And it turns out live streaming wasn't just another option on the menu. It was acting like a supercharger. It was taking the strategies that businesses were already using and making them way, way more powerful. So here's how you can think about it. Yes, live streaming helps you sell more stuff on its own, but its real magic is how it amplifies everything else. It takes all your proactive marketing efforts and gives them a live, interactive stage. It turns your online store from a static catalog into a dynamic, can't-miss event. Let's put this in really simple terms. A good strategy is focusing on entrepreneurial marketing or building a great e-commerce site. A supercharged strategy is taking either of those and adding live streaming on top. It's not about replacing what you do, it's about enhancing it. It's the difference between adding and multiplying. Okay, so that's what the data tells us.
But what does this actually look and feel like for the real business owners on the ground in Bali? Let's hear it straight from them.
I mean, this quote just says it all, doesn't it? This owner had a perfectly good e-commerce store with nice photos, but live streaming supercharged it. Why? Because it solved a huge problem with online shopping. You can't see the texture, you can't see how it really fits. Live streaming made their existing stores so much more effective.
And here's another great example. This owner is saying that live streaming acts like a magnet for new customers. People just stumble across their live show, they get curious about the brand, and even if they don't buy right then and there, they head over to the main e-commerce store later. The live stream is directly feeding their other sales channels. This final quote really brings it all home. A tool, no matter how powerful, is only as good as the strategy behind it. To do live streaming well, you need that entrepreneurial spirit. You need to invest in good gear. You have to be creative, and you have to be willing to take a few risks. The live stream supercharges the strategy, but you've got to have the strategy first. So if you only take one thing away today, let it be this. The real power of live streaming isn't that it's just a new place to sell things. Its true secret is that it's a catalyst. It's something that can amplify and multiply the power of the marketing and e-commerce work you are already doing. And that kind of leads to one final question for you. This isn't really just about fashion in Bali. Think about your own work, your own goals. What's the tool that you might be overlooking? What could be the secret supercharger that you're not using to its full potential? Something to think about. Thanks for tuning in.